Can I ask you guys a legit question? What did we accomplish tonight? What did we honestly accomplish tonight on SmackDown? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What did we get tonight? We got shit. We got shit from the WWE. More stuff with Retribution, which I'm already sick of. They already a failure. I'm sick of Retribution already. And they haven't even revealed themselves. That ending tonight on SmackDown. What was that? What was that? That's all I'm going to say about that. We'll get to that as the last part of this review. And then a Battle Royal, where the winner would go on to face Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship at SummerSlam. And I will be ranting on that. I'm sure as hell going to be ranting on that. So, make sure you guys stay tuned for that rant. This show was so bad tonight. This show. This was shit. This show is absolutely shit. And you could just tell right there how I feel about SmackDown. But this is your SmackDown review here on the Big Fight Field channel. I am Joseph Conlon. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. If you have not already, check out my Monday Night Raw review from this past Monday, AEW from Wednesday, and NXT from this past Thursday. All of those videos here on the channel. Make sure you check them out, give them a listen, and let me know what you think. SmackDown. SmackDown. From the Performance Center. They said that next week they're going to be in a different venue, which is the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. That's going to be where SummerSlam is, and I believe all their shows in the near future are going to be in the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. So they're going to be in there next week, and they said that the WWE Universe is going to play a huge role in it as well. And there will be virtual fans, which I'm really, that's not going to work. That is really not going to work. It doesn't work for the NBA. MLB has freaking cardboard cutouts. And in the NBA, it looks super ridiculous. And they did it in the NFL draft this year too. So, I absolutely hated it. I hated it then. So, I'm not going to like it now. And I just know I'm not going to like it. And it's going to come off pretty damn stupid. And it's going to be weird. It's going to be super weird. And I think this thing's going to be a whole failure. This will be a colossal failure. So that's my thoughts on WWE running the Amway Center. But hey, I guess it's some normal, you know. But we started off with Big E and John Morrison, and this match barely got started when the lights were dimming. Michael Cole's like, "Oh my God, Retribution! Oh my God, Retribution's here!" And a woman was standing on the ring apron, and then 3 more people were on there, and then we had basically like a whole SWAT team come out and attack Morrison and Big E. And I'm not sure if I counted it right, but I counted 12 people in black hoodies and black masks. 12 people. So WWE is just out of the blue water adding members of Retribution without even explaining, without even an explanation. Folks, I am sick of Retribution already. I really am. This is not interesting. I'm not invested in this. And more than likely, when they reveal themselves and they go up against the WWE, they're gonna lose. And then what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? They're gonna be failures. They're gonna become failures. Watch, I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now, they'll be failures by Survivor Series. By Survivor Series, they'll be dead. Bayley and Sasha then were out, and they said that tonight there's a battle royal. I don't even want to talk about the promo. The promo wasn't bad. Let's just get to the ring, the action, because that's really the talking point. We had Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox in there. Those were the only two representatives of NXT. I even pitched last week on the SmackDown review that Tegan Nox should win that Battle Royal tonight. It's something new and fresh and something I could enjoy. So we had Tegan, Shotzi Blackheart, Dana Brooke, Nikki Cross, Lacey Evans, Naomi, the Iconics, Bianca Belair, Shayna Baszler, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, and Asuka. Now, I'm not really a big fan of Battle Royals at all. I just have a sense of a hard time paying attention until the very end. I remember in the beginning that Ruby and the Iconics were the first ones eliminated, and then Liv Morgan got eliminated, and they brought on the outside because they're feuding on Raw. And then Dana Brooke was hiding, and I'm just going to get to the final five. We had Dana Brooke, Bianca Belair, Baszler, Shayna Baszler, Asuka, and I believe Tegan Nox. I believe that was the final five. So we had Belair get eliminated by Tegan Nox. Baszler. Oh no, it was then Baszler eliminated Tegan Nox with the chokehold. And then Dana Brooke came from under the ring, and she said, "I haven't been eliminated yet." And then she was pointing to her head, like thinking she's so smart. But she gets put in a kid through the clutch. She gets Shayna off her. Asuka hits a hip attack, and Dana Brooke's eliminated. So we're down to Asuka and Shayna Baszler. And Shayna does the same thing. She kicks Asuka, actually. Bayley and Sasha are trying to yank Asuka off. So Asuka kicks Bayley and Banks, and Baszler gives Asuka like an enziguri. So Asuka is standing on Bayley and Banks. Asuka gets back up. Shayna puts in the kick through the clutch, and Asuka throws her over the top rope, and Asuka is going to SummerSlam to face Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship at SummerSlam. Man, oh man. Now I love Asuka. I think she's great. She's great at what she does. She's had a great feud with Sasha Banks so far, and I'm looking forward to her match with Sasha at SummerSlam. And she's had good matches with Bayley in the past. But this is so freaking lazy. This is so lazy by WWE. What happened to the mono of creating new stars. Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon's lackeys, known as WWE Creative, they aren't building new stars in the women's division. Folks, after tonight, it's clear now more than ever that WWE only cares about 4 women in that division. That is Asuka, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, and when she's there, Becky Lynch. That's 5 women. I'm sorry. They only care about 5 women in that division. Yet people want an evolution too. And the people that say that, I laugh in your face. And I show you this. I show you this match tonight. And I tell you, ha! I honestly have no words. I was so pissed off after this. You had a chance to get a new and fresh match, an exciting matchup for Naomi. You could have put her up against Bianca Belair, a Tegan Nox, a Shotzi Blackheart, Shayna Baszler. If you want to do Naomi again, I had no problem with that. And like I said, I love Asuka. I have no problem with Asuka whatsoever. But the fact that you had Asuka win this match, A, it shows you're lazy and you have no creative direction. And 2, you only care about a few women in the division. And that's not a women's division. That's not a women's division, folks. They really missed the boat on this one. They could have been very creative with this. Tegan Nox versus Bayley would have been great. Shayna Baszler versus Bayley would have been great. Hell, Naomi and Bayley had a good match in Saudi Arabia. I'd like to see that again. I bet you Bianca Belair versus Bayley could be a match of the night at SummerSlam. I'm not saying I hate Asuka. I'm not saying Asuka and Bayley put on bad matches. They put on an excellent match this past Monday on Raw. But there's so many problems with this. There's so many problems with this. We've seen it twice already. I'm done talking about it. The more I talk about it, the more heated I'm gonna get, and I just need to relax and I need to move on. I need to move on from this segment. We got Mandy Rose. We got Mandy Rose in the back, and she's talking that in her entire career, she's been called a pretty blonde, a Barbie doll, a pretty face. She can't wrestle. She's a model. She's a bikini champion. And she said that's true. She was a bikini champion. And she's been told all those things her entire life. And she gets frustrated every time people tell her that. And then she challenged Sonya to a hair versus hair match at SummerSlam. And then later on, Sonya accepted. So, one of these 2 women are going to be bald. And it's not going to be Mandy Rose. I can't see Mandy Rose going bald. Sonya Deville, I can absolutely see her going bald. So, I mean, that's that. I hope that's the end of the feud. Like, why are they even feuding in the first place? They've been feuding since May. Why should Sonya want another match with her? She beat her like 3 times already. Again, I don't understand. I don't understand, but it should be a good match, and that's that. We got Sheamus versus Chad Gable, and Sheamus won in 7 minutes with a bro kick, and Chad Gable had new theme music. What else do you want me to say? What else do you want me to say? And then we had AJ Styles come out with a statistic. Looked like chalkboard or whatever, whiteboard, whatever. And he was there with his client, Joseph Parks, a.k.a. Abyss. Abyss get his WWE TV debut tonight. It's nice to see Joseph Parks back in professional wrestling. I was a huge fan of his in TNA. But Styles says he's faced a lot of challengers. He's faced Drew Gulak, Matt Riddle, Gran Metalik. All because Daniel Bryan says that the Intercontinental Championship is a fighting man's champion. And you have to put up the title against all these competitors. And he says there's a lot of names on the SmackDown roster, but who's the top contender for the Intercontinental Championship? He peels off one side of the whiteboard and it says Intercontinental Champion AJ Styles. He tears off the bottom and it says nobody. There's no name on there, because nobody is on the level of AJ Styles. Then out comes Jeff Hardy. Excuse me. Whew. Then Jeff Hardy says, I got a ton of respect for you. A lot of people have wanted us to face each other in a WWE ring. That's a dream match for a lot of people. That Intercontinental Championship was the first championship I won in the WWE on my own, and that title means a lot to Jeff. So for Jeff to get another shot at the Intercontinental Championship and have it be against AJ Styles, he said that would be a dream for him. And now that he's put his demons aside, he's just asking for a match for the Intercontinental Championship against AJ Styles. AJ says he has a lot of respect for Jeff Hardy, and he has put his demons past him, and he is one half of the greatest tag team in WWE history. They didn't say the name, of course, because Matt Hardy, AEW, the Hardy Boys, I'll tell you. WWE won't tell you, but I will. So he says that, and he says, am I willing to give you a shot at the Intercontinental Championship? And he said, hell no. And then he said, I don't remember what he said after that, but then Hardy attacked him and gave Styles a twist of fate, and he signed his name on the whiteboard in a permanent marker, Jeff Hardy. So that set up an Intercontinental Championship match, not at SummerSlam, but on SmackDown next week, with AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy. Why is this not happening at SummerSlam? There's one thing I can tell you. There's one thing I'm going to say. Why? Two things. Why this is not on SummerSlam. A, because WWE is desperate for ratings. They will do anything for a rating right now. So they're putting this match on SmackDown instead of SummerSlam next Sunday. And B, have you guys realized, ever since Sami Zayn vacated his Intercontinental Championship, that every title defense on SmackDown, or every title defense has been on SmackDown? So it's basically ever since AJ Styles won the Intercontinental Championship, it's kind of been like a television championship. And I guess that's what their plan is for a little bit until someone else takes the title for AJ Styles. But hey, I like it. Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles, whether it's on SummerSlam, whether it's on SmackDown, I don't really care. Because at the end of the day, it's Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles. Two guys that I love. And I think that match is going to be great. And that's going to be great. I cannot wait to see Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. Gran Metalik versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This match was decent. Nothing too special to it until the Lucha House Party music hit and Kalisto came out. So Kalisto making his return to the WWE. I honestly forgot about Kalisto, so that's how much I care about him. I honestly forgot about Kalisto, and I forgot he was in the Lucha House Party. So he came out and he gave Cesaro a tornado DDT. Then Metalik gave Shinsuke Nakamura a crossbody, and Lucha House Gran Metalik won this match. Kalisto's back. Do you guys care? Probably not. Why are the Lucha House Party getting a tag team title match? I can tell you one reason, folks, and one reason only. Process of elimination. WWE didn't have any challengers for Shinsuke and Cesaro coming out of Extreme Rules, which doesn't shock me whatsoever. So, this is how they determined Lucha House Party as the number one contenders. Kofi's hurt. Woods is hurt. Big E is on a singles run on his own. You got Heavy Machinery, but Otis is Mr. Money in the Bank, so you can't do him. Miz and Morrison, they're heels. That wouldn't make sense. So the only team you got in that division to go up against Nakamura and Cesaro for the tag team titles is Lucha House Party. And that's how they determined the challengers for Cesaro and Nakamura whenever. It could be at SummerSlam, it could be on SmackDown, it could be on Payback. I'm not sure. We had Big E. We're back to Big E versus John Morrison. But first, before that, we had a backstage interview with Matt Riddle. He was with Caleb Braxton, and he said, since I came to SmackDown, all I wanted to do was fight and see the competition on SmackDown, who can hang with the bro, and who can give me a run for my money. But King Corbin has been a thorn to his side, and that is something he needs to put down. Then Chad Gable came up, and he was like, Matt, I just want to apologize for what I did last week, and I brutally attacked you, and I just needed the money for my family. I think you would understand. And he gave Chad Gable gave Riddle a fist. Riddle fisted him back, and King Corbin attacked Riddle. This was all a setup, and this match is probably happening either at SummerSlam or Payback. Now we got Big E versus John Morrison. And 3 minutes into the match, the lights are flickering. And Michael Cole's like, oh my God, again, Retribution, what's going on? Security. So, it feels like every time Retribution lights flicker, Michael Cole screams this from his lungs. That's annoying as hell as well. So we get back from commercial, and basically, the entire SmackDown roster is out in the ringside to see if Retribution come out during this match. Then Retribution show up backstage, and they're attacking referees and agents and they attacked Kayla Braxton, and they suplexed the referee onto a table. They locked someone in the bathroom. They spray painted the Raw, the WWE symbol, and they put a slash right across it. And then another referee, I think it was Jessica Carr, she came out and told the entire roster, Retribution is backstage, go get him, go get him. They just attacked our referee staff. And the entire roster went to check on the referee staff. And then Big E won the match. So there's no attention on the match whatsoever. No one gave a shit about the match. Big E won. Like I said earlier, I'm just sick and tired of Retribution already. It's been 2 weeks. It's a failure. And the reveal's going to be disappointing. And I told you guys, they're going to be dead by November. Whenever they reveal themselves, which I hope is soon, they're gonna be dead by November. Trust me on that. And finally, we had Braun Strowman come out, who's bald. Braun Strowman is bald, folks. He no longer has the mullet. He has changed since he came out in the swamp, and he wants the Fiend, and he wants the Fiend to come out right now. And then Alexa Bliss comes out, and Braun doesn't look too happy. He's just looking at the ground, and Alexa is trying to get Braun's attention, trying to talk some sense into Braun. You're not the same. You're not the same person I knew. Who are you? All that stuff. I'm gonna slap some sense into you if the Fiend hasn't already. She slapped Braun about 5 times. She said, "How dare you not look at me?" Then Braun lifted her up over his shoulders, and the lights dimmed out. And then once the last light dimmed out, Braun dropped Alexa right on the mat. The red lighting comes up, and it's the Fiend, and it's Alexa Bliss in the ring. Braun Strowman is not in the ring, and he's on the Titantron, and he laughed for a minute, and then the Fiend laughed with him, and that was the way SmackDown went off the air. I got so many questions about this, man. I got so many questions. A, what was that? What was that finish to SmackDown? That was terrible. I don't know who came up with that, but how am I supposed to get excited over Braun Strowman versus The Fiend at SummerSlam with that angle they did tonight? I was texting Eddie during SmackDown, and he said this was probably one of the most confusing finishes to a show in a while. And I was like, you know what, dude? I would probably have to agree with you. I didn't know what to think about this. I was disappointed about it at the end. Very disappointed. He's like, is Braun Strowman a heel? And I was like, I would think not. I don't think Braun Strowman's a heel. Why would he? I don't really have any words for this. I don't. They kind of dropped the ball last week. This rivalry was kind of hot when The Fiend put the mandible claw on Alexa Bliss. Then you got Braun appearing on the Titantron, cutting a lame-ass promo. And now this, they dropped the ball on this rivalry. I can't wait for Bray Wyatt to take the Universal Championship from Braun Strowman and then get Braun Strowman off of television. please. Please. I don't know what... like I said, I really don't have much words for this angle. This was flat out disappointing. And it makes Braun look like a coward as well. Because he's yelling at Alexa, "Get the hell out of my ring. Where's the Fiend? I want the Fiend. I want the Fiend to come out right now." And then the Fiend comes out, and he's not even there. So Braun kind of looks like a coward and a wuss at the end because he's running away from the Fiend. So I really don't understand that. I don't understand the logic behind it, but I mean, whatever. A confusing ending. I'm going to agree with Eddie. This was a confusing ending to SmackDown tonight. And they kind of dropped the ball in this Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman angle going into SummerSlam. And that's your SmackDown review right here on the Big Fight Field channel tonight. What a shit show tonight. Tonight was shit. I'm going to forget about it tomorrow and move on. But thank you guys for watching this review. I appreciate it a lot. If you watched the video, make sure you subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. We're on the road to 200 subscribers. Let's get to 200 subscribers, hopefully by SummerSlam next week. If not then All Out. Let's get to 200 subscribers. Like I said, previous videos, every sub helps the channel get bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you haven't subbed already, you want to hit that subscribe button, especially with my stacked schedule next week, which I'm going to be tweeting out sometime during the weekend. We got a stacked schedule here on the Big Fight Field next week. We got 3 guests coming on the show. We got Christina Washington for NXT TakeOver 30 preview and predictions. We got Austin Gamers Goon coming on the NXT review next week. And we got my friend Kevin Cabaza coming on for the SummerSlam preview and predictions next week as well. So we got a loaded week here on the channel next week. Comment down below what you thought of tonight's SmackDown episode. I want to know your thoughts on the Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman ending, because like I said, I have very little words for that. All I could say was, what the hell was that? So I want to know your thoughts on that. And like the video if you enjoyed my review for SmackDown. Follow me on Twitter at Colin_Joseph. And I'm getting out of here. I'll see you guys Monday for the Raw review right here on the Big Fight Field channel. Have a good night. Stay safe.